Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at You, Me, and
the podcast.
All right. So we are third episode.
Even though it feels like it's been a bajillion
25 episodes. A lot of trial and error. But we're here today. So
we're here.
Whatever number we're on. What are we talking about?
You guys tell us what episode we're on because you guys will probably know.
I know.
We might not know. So
it's a struggle.
How are you? This lady just came back from Japan. So
yeah.
How was Japan? Tell us all about it.
I am jet lagged.
The good, bad, the ugly.
I wake up at 1 p.m. every day now because I have not fixed up my schedule.
What's the time difference?
That's a good question. There is a difference. There's a difference. That's all you need to know.
Difference from here to Texas. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely a difference.
There's definitely a difference. Well, I do wake up at 1 p.m. so that says enough, right? The timing is all off with the night and day. You don't wake up at a night and day difference.
You don't wake up at 1 p.m. on the daily?
It's a night. No. Is this wow. I actually have work to do, Jasdeep. I am a working citizen of the United States.
Amen.
But anyway, Japan was amazing. It was more than I ever like you know when you say like, oh, I want to go to Japan, it seems so cool. That is an understatement. You don't know what you're getting into until you step foot in Tokyo.
Manjot actually did study abroad for a whole 6 months.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, in Japan?
Yeah, she did a semester abroad. She can speak Japanese fluently.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wait, so did she learn when she was there or did she learn before she left?
No, I want to say she learned before.
Okay.
And then I think she kind of honed in while she was there. And it was in the spring, so...
Oh, nice.
Around this
time. It was like the perfect time to go too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like...
I learned Japanese, or like not full on, but like enough to hold conversation and make my way through. Yeah. Just like 2 months before the trip.
Oh, damn. So.
But it's crazy because when I went, people were approaching me randomly. There's this old bibi. She was like local. You know, she was local. She was a local Japanese bibi. And she saw my tattoo.
Oh, yeah, you posted about this.
Yeah. And then she saw my friend's kara. And she recognized that we were sick. And she starts talking about like all these like religious like Sikhi things. And she's like, oh, I know who Guru Nanak Dev Ji is. And then she went on to like talk about dals and sabjis and what her favorite like dal and sabji was. And it was kind of really random. But it was cute because it's just like, wow, not only was she not afraid to approach us, she knows that we're Punjabi and we're Sikh and like just by appearance and like she has this like worldly knowledge to her.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
It was cool. It was really different.
I love it whenever I see a Sardar out of context or like in like shows or whatever. I'm like, oh my god,
yeah, dude. Actually, that was us in Japan. Oh my god.
Get so like my partner does not understand. He's like, okay, and I'm like, you don't understand.
Yeah,
it's like like
especially when you're like so out of like place. I guess
exactly.
Like where you're not gonna find somebody.
The out of context is truly for sure.
We were on this like 1 day tour in Kyoto, right? And we got out of the bus and there were 2 Sardar men. They were like our age. They're like late 20s for sure. And I was like, what do I say? Like I just got all nervous and like I look at Jess. Jess looks at me and we're just like, what do we do? Like do
why did you shoot your shot?
I mean, I don't know. They didn't look my type, but like you know, okay, like they were handsome in their own right, but it was just in that moment, all I was thinking was there's another Punjabi in close proximity right here in Kyoto. And all I've been seeing is like, you know, Gore and tourists and Japanese. Like I haven't seen a Sardar guy. So there were 2, like they were just walking past and I'm just like, I'm freaking out. Like, what do I do? What is the protocol here? I don't know. And so I look at him, he looks at me and I'm like, Sasrika. I mean, dude, it was like, I don't, maybe it was out of pocket of me because it's just like, you know, maybe I should have just said, hey, but I'm just like, Sasrika.
Did they look like they were from like India
so
or like did they look like they were from here or
you
like
know, honestly,
Canadian?
They could have looked American, and I just went straight on Punjabi on him. And I'm like, Sat Sri Akal. And he just stared at me and he hesitated because he was like, what is going on here? And then he goes Sat Sri Akal back in a very like like a whisper. And then he walks on.
Like, what a
and then I told Justin, like, wow, that was a close one. We could have really butchered that.
We could have really butchered that.
I saved our asses. Yeah, that was kind of crazy because I'm like, okay, but I'm different, right? Like if somebody were to approach me and say Sat Sri Akal, I'd be like, fuck yeah, Sat Sri Akal, like let's go, bruh. Let's speak in Punjabi.
You start speaking in like 10 out of 10 Punjabi.
Yeah, literally dead ass. But then there are some people who are like, bro, Like you really had to say 사실과.
Be chill for once in your life.
Yeah, no, I freaked out and that just came out of me. So
Fair. Yeah.
I will never forget.
Is that like your bucket list place to go, or like what's your bucket list place to go?
Good question. I think honestly, Japan was my bucket, like one of my bucket list items. I have a lot, but Japan for sure. That was like a big one up there, right? Because it's like it's not a cheap adventure to go on.
For sure.
But back at you, like, what is one of your top bucket list travel items?
We went to Mexico, and I've always really wanted to go to Mexico.
Yeah.
I think the only other place where I would really, really want to go, and this might sound really dumb because it's not, well, I don't know. I really want to go to Pakistan because I am obsessed with Punjabi culture. And like one of my partner's clients, he was like, oh, like, Jine Lahore nahi dekhe unhe Punjab nahi dekha. And I took that so personally because I was like, oh no, I am Punjabi, you know?
Okay, fair enough.
And so I want to go to Pakistan and I want to explore the...
Dude, I heard Pakistan is like really
Purani
safe and
Delhi
lit.
and stuff.
Like it's a place to travel, especially like even as a solo traveler, as crazy as it sounds, because obviously like we know how India is. I heard that Pakistan is still like you go to those main city spots and stuff, it's really safe and it's very welcoming.
This is gonna take us on a whole tangent, but I love how it's like meeting people from like that are Pakistani Punjabi is like meeting half of your heart almost.
Okay.
Right? Like half of your soul. Because it's like they have like such a similar like, you know, walk of life as we do, but the partition literally tore people apart.
Dude, my daddy is from Pakistan. So
yeah,
it's just
so like a lot of people's grandparents, like my grandparents were from Pakistan and stuff, and so it just, I don't know, like there's always been like a will of like I
a
want
missing part of the soul, right?
Exactly, and it's like maybe if I go, I feel like I could feel closer to my ancestors, and I think that's really cool. And like that's, but other than that, like touristy spots, I would say like Greece, like Santorini is definitely on my bucket list.
Like a vacation type.
Yeah, like Santorini, like the vantage point that every basic like Instagrammer
the white
has.
buildings with the blue shingled roofs.
I don't know why that is just the pinnacle for me. Like, you know, I love how, especially like Punjabis, it's like when you go outside and like you see like people that are like Sardar or whatever, we call them apne.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so special, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love, like, there's so much in India that I haven't seen. I haven't been to Jaipur. I haven't been, like,
Girl,
you know.
every time I go to India, it's straight to Punjab.
And that's it.
Straight from Delhi, that 6-hour drive.
Exactly.
And then straight home.
Well, we go to
waiting for
we go to Amritsar because we have family that like lives right next to the Amritsar,
the Golden Temple.
Yeah,
right.
No, I'm saying we land in Amritsar Airport.
Oh yeah.
So like we go to like Delhi.
That's
we have
convenient.
like a 45-minute layover, and then you take like I think it's like a 40-minute flight to
That's not bad.
To Amritsar. But at that point, you're so exhausted like traveling that it's like, bro.
Like I haven't seen Goa.
Yeah,
I haven't
me neither.
seen like Rajasthan. I really want to see
I've never
Rajasthan.
even seen the Taj Mahal, dude.
I haven't seen the Taj Mahal. We haven't been to Agra.
Like,
and
I
it's
just felt like I want to go.
How am I gonna say that I've been to India, but I haven't seen India?
I've been to Punjab.
I've seen Delhi, the Delhi airport. I've seen Delhi from outside the taxi cab.
I've been to Chandigarh.
Right.
Like, you know, like
Ludhiana, which is like where the whole family is. Yeah, no. It's annoying.
Even Chandigarh, honestly, like it had like the feel. We have relatives who live in Chandigarh, like proper Chandigarh.
Mm-hmm.
And Chandigarh has like the feel of almost like America but better.
Okay.
Like we went to their house and their house looked, you know, like Indian houses look like Indian houses. People like people's Havelis look like people's Havelis. No, this house looked like our houses. It had a foyer and like, you know, like very
like things have gotten like very modern.
Yeah, like
things
it's very hi-fi. People people actually drive like normal human beings.
Yeah.
People stop at stoplights. Because like fines are doubled in Chandigarh.
Oh really?
So it's interesting. And
it's more of like a city center than anything. Like
I understand why people from Chandigarh and stuff like they act the way that they act, and like I understand why
they have a reputation to maintain.
Why Bindu people look at Shadia people and they're like no. So I understand it from both aspects of like yo, like I understand.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah, because you're growing up in such a different environment. Like that is as different
Tell
as it
him
gets.
that because I literally say this all the time. I'm like, Shadia and Pendu are two very separate things. And there are very clear cultural differences. And it's not like some of the things are nuanced. Some of the things like Boli and stuff like that is very nuanced. But there are some clear cut like cultural differences between the two.
I agree.
But yeah, I would love to go to Pakistan. I don't know if you ever get this feeling, but like there are some places that just feel like home. And I think like for me personally, LA has always been one of those places. Like LA just feels like home.
Okay.
Like when I go through the grapevine and like I see the Hollywood, like it feels like home. This is why I believe in a past life I was definitely
You
like
lived in LA.
I lived in LA,
up and coming actress.
I definitely lived
who can
in.
also sing.
Absolutely not.
Multi-talented.
If it does, I don't think those talents carry over.
No.
I don't. But I do definitely think that I lived a past life in Pakistan. 2008, I think, was the last time we went to like the Wagah border.
Yeah.
And it just like, I don't know, like there's such a like weird like amalgamation of like feelings there. And I was just like, I feel like I'm supposed to be on that side, which again, that feels a little
crazy.
Yeah, that feels
and, like,
a little
the nostalgic feeling. Like I personally feel like it comes from somewhere.
Exactly.
Like it's not just some random chemical in our brain.
Yeah.
Like there has to be something more.
Yeah. And so that's kind of always been my thing is I want to explore, because when you grow up really sheltered, like but you don't have information about like your identity or anything like that. Like to me, it's really interesting to kind of go and like see places and like, you know, like try to feel closer to your identity. I think is such a big thing for a lot of people.
Dude, like I love that, you know, traveling is not just like finding other cultures, but it's also finding your own.
Yeah.
And connecting with your own.
I think not everybody has that. Like, you know, not everybody has like the same type of feeling of that. But I think when you are so like when you grow up with so many different cultures and so many like especially as like first generation immigrants, it's like, you know, you grow up with so many cultures and things like thrown at you. Yeah. And then you're like, who am I? Right. Yeah. And then you go through that
and
identity crisis.
You're left to fend for yourself. Like after college, it's just like who was I supposed to be this whole time? Or even starting off in college, because that's when you get a little bit more freedom than you did in high school. Right?
Absolutely.
Speaking as a oldest brown daughter, I don't know how the experience is different for, you know, different people, but personally with strict parents, it was just like college is when I was like left out in the public, in the open, exposed with the spotlight on me, and you know, people were like, oh, what's your favorite this, what's your favorite that, what do you like to do in your free time? And I'm like, let me go ask my mom.
I cook and clean in my free time.
I don't know what I like to do. Let me just ask my parents real quick.
You don't have
because
any
your
hobbies
shadow,
they don't facilitate that.
Exactly. And you're an extension of someone else. And I feel like college is when you truly get to discover, or, you know, start to travel and start to see different things and see different people and, you know, kind of adopt like, oh my gosh, wait, you like that? Let me try that out. Let me try this food. Let me watch that show. And you kind of sort of, you know, you unlearn what you need to unlearn, and then you discover yourself.
I do want to go to New York City for the shits and giggles of it all, but I feel like I'm
Have you been?
No, I feel like New York just seems so intimidating. I feel like it's a very busy lifestyle. I feel like they're going to know the moment I open my mouth that I'm from the West Coast, and they're going to be mean to me. And I don't know if I like that.
I mean, New York is something you definitely need to experience once.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Because the U.S. is so vast, right?
Absolutely.
North America is so vast, and it's just like, at that point, it's a night and day's difference, like where you are. Like California in itself should be its own country, right? Yeah. And then like you go to Texas, you go to New York.
People are different.
You get all different kinds of foods, all different kinds of accents, dialects, right? Different kinds of like sort of the way they approach people and personalities and whatnot. Yeah, people are different. In New York, you can't bullshit. You know, you can't. Nobody has time for anything. Nobody has time to breathe. And then there's Californians who are just so relaxed and just...
Life is slower here, friends. For sure.
Yeah. Oh, it's super slow. I mean, it's still fast because we make it fast. But California is like as slow as it gets, I feel like.
But I think the thing is that like even like stereotypically, like where did I go? We went to Chicago. Okay. And they like automatically knew. They were like, oh, you're not from around here, are you? And I was like, no.
How are Chicagoans?
Like, they're nice. People are nice. Yeah. I think people are either really chatty or kind of like, okay, stay out of my business. Like very, like not very standoffish, but kind of standoffish. Okay. And I feel like it's one or the other. Yeah. Like I had like this older lady who like all she wanted to do was chat at like our TJ Maxx. And then there was like even the servers, like some of the servers there were kind of like standoffish. So
that's interesting. So it's a mix. I think in order to make like an accurate sort of assessment, we have to live there long enough to
Yeah.
really get a feel.
Yeah,
Because-
but I mean, Chicago was honestly really cool. It was
Yeah.
just freezing.
yeah,
It was so
I've
cold there.
heard.
Dude, there's like this meme that I saw that was
Mhm.
like, oh, Californians are solar powered. And I was
That's
like,
funny.
absolutely. I was like, what's wrong with that?
I
Like, you
know.
know?
Dude, before Seattle, I was supposed to move to Chicago. And like I
Good.
had my mindset on it, and I told like my close friends and family, like, I'm moving to Chicago. I still remember like telling my cousin, and she just broke down crying, like, bro, you're so
It
far away.
really is the
But
windy city.
Everybody's like, dude, you're not gonna like the winters.
You're not.
You're gonna die. You're from California. You're not equipped. You're not gonna be able to handle what's gonna come at you. And they were correct. They were
People
100%.
who move
I
like
didn't
cross
go.
country, especially from California.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like going from the West Coast to the East Coast, I think
Culture
it's
shock,
harder than,
weather shock, everything
like,
shock.
I think it's harder because of the weather. I think coming from the East Coast to the West Coast, it's like it's a pleasant surprise. Like, whoa.
Dude, there's a girl on TikTok that was like, people here cancel plans because it's raining, and I was like, valid.
Right.
Valid reason to cancel plans with somebody. Like,
Yeah.
if you and I have plans and it was raining really hard,
Mm-hmm.
that's a completely valid
It's because
reason.
rain
to,
doesn't come here as often as
right?
it does.
And she was
in
like,
other places.
she's like, I'm from the East Coast. Like, hailing and snowing isn't a valid reason to not show up. And I was like,
Okay,
that's tough.
but the thing is, okay, personally, I love the rain, and I wouldn't cancel plans because of the rain. There are
But
people
if somebody
who can't.
canceled plans, you were hanging out with somebody else, and they canceled plans because of the rain, you
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Well,
see
first of all,
that-
I wouldn't know because they would use some other stupid excuse like, "Oh, I gotta take my grandma somewhere," or, you know,
I gotta
drop
take my
friend.
pet fish for a walk.
Yeah, exactly. I was in Seattle, so instead of Chicago, I went to Seattle, right, for a year, and I lived there for a year. And it's just like it did rain, it did hail, it did snow, right, plenty of snow, but I didn't mind it. The only times that I would truly mind it, and that's because I was too lazy to put, like chains and like sort of snowproof my car, was when I was going uphill like to my apartment, so I would just have to park across the street and wait until the freaking black ice like melted off, right? It was bad, but it wasn't so bad to the point where it stopped me from doing the stuff I wanted to do.
I'm gonna be so real with you.
I love the cold.
I
It's
don't.
romantic.
Sometimes I don't even go to San Francisco because I don't want to have to deal with like parking on a hill. Like,
Oh shit.
I am so
Yeah.
spoiled. Like being in the Central Valley and
Yeah.
like living on flatland.
Yeah.
Like my car was parked.
You're used to not like anything slopey.
having it disturb your life, having the
Yeah.
elements disturb your life.
Yeah.
Why would I ever? Dude, we went to Reno for 3 days. It rained the second day, and we had my uncle's like GMC like Denali, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
big ass
Yeah,
truck,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
With
right.
like snow tires and everything,
Yeah.
right?
It's a whole ass SUV, dude.
We were slipping and sliding.
No. Are
It
you
was
serious?
horrible. He was in the car with us.
Oh.
It was slipping and sliding.
Yeah.
I have never been more terrified in my
I'd be-
entire
I'd-
life. And I was like, this is not for me. I could not live in a place where there is snowfall.
Where you're
Like-
slipping and sliding.
Bro, in a big
Honestly,
ass
yeah.
truck
No, actually,
that's
yeah.
all wheel drive with snow
Yeah,
tires.
Right.
Also, snow tires.
There's a lot of precautions you have to take in that kind of weather for sure. So yeah, when I did move to Seattle, everybody would send me those Seattle videos where cars would slide, and like nobody had any control, and basically it was like crashing into another, like one crashes into one, the other crashes into the next, and it just keeps going and going, and it's like it's a shit show and it's crazy. But that being said, yeah, I don't think we're really well equipped to drive in something like that.
Yeah, the only other place that I can think of that I would be okay moving to is like maybe Florida, but the
Yeah.
humidity is crazy in
Is
Florida.
it really?
Yeah, they have a lot more humidity than we do.
It's a good place to visit, but not to stay.
Yeah,
All that
even
humidity.
Mexico, I think they have like they don't have that much humidity, but they have more humidity than we do. And my hair was just like all frizzed up. Dude,
Yeah.
my face was
My
breaking out
makeup
like
would
no
never stay
other.
in place in
It was
Hawaii or
horrible.
Mexico. Mexico.
Yeah, it
I
was
was like, there's no
horrible.
point.
What part of Mexico did you go to?
Cabo, Tulum, and Cancun.
We need to go to Puerto
Mexico
Vallarta.
City.
We went to Puerto Vallarta, and it was beautiful.
Really?
It's stunning, first of all. And then also we were in like, it's called the romantic zone. And it has like a very big gay scene.
Okay.
And it's so stunning. Like it feels.
Is it for relaxing or is it for partying or both? Like,
a little bit of both.
Okay.
I would say they have like beach clubs and stuff like that you can go to. But I think my favorite part was like, it didn't feel like a tourist town. You know how like when you go places where it's like, it feels very touristy? It didn't feel very touristy because there's not that many people that go there for tourist stuff.
Did you go, were you in the resort most of the time or?
So we were like, the hotel that we were staying at was literally like probably like 120 feet from the ocean or like from the beach. So we had like, we literally had dinner on the beach every single night.
Nice.
We had lunch on the beach. We had like it's just,
that's lit.
It was lit. So nice.
Dude,
and
Mexico's perfect for when you want to just like get away from everything.
And it was like decently priced. Like everything I feel like was like very decently priced. And like it wasn't like, you know, like when you go to a tourist place, everything's like more expensive.
Right.
It wasn't like that. And so that was really cool. And then they had like phenomenal seafood because obviously like you're right by the beach. And so we had like, I ate so much shrimp, like salmon, lobster, like the whole 9 yards. Nice. It was so nice.
I think Mexico's great because like I'm vegetarian, so it's not just the seafood, which obviously they should focus on because it's like on the coast, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like every time I've gone, I've never had a bad experience with the food.
Yeah.
I mean, going to the right resorts obviously helps because it could be a huge hit and miss. I know the all-inclusive ones, it's a huge hit or miss with the food. But they always have solid vegetarian options.
Also, if you're ever in Puerto Vallarta, you should definitely go to Blondie's. It's a alcoholic like slushy basically.
Ooh.
And they have like a bunch of different flavors and they're so good. Dude,
nice.
That was like the only time I ever felt buzzed. Like the thing about going to Mexico though is like the alcohol's definitely watered down. So like you don't get as like drunk, you know?
For sure. 7 shots in and you're like, is anything gonna
I don't
hit?
feel anything, yeah.
And then you take your 14th shot and everything hits the fan.
It hits like you know, bajillion. Yeah, we went to like the club. Puerto Vallarta has like a very, very like popular like club scene. Not for me personally, but cool. You know?
Yeah.
There was like a club that we went to that had like a top floor balcony.
Okay.
And there was like not that many people there. So you just take your drink up there and then like, you know, you can see like views of everything. And it's so insanely beautiful.
It's well, like when it comes to club scenes, especially in Mexico, and I get why you said not my scene. Like I 100% get you.
I mean, club scenes here aren't my scene, so I'm just not a club type of gal.
I think we're on the same page.
Like I'm just not a club type of gal.
Like if I go with a group of people that I mess with, then it's like okay, I'm going with people, I'm going with friends, like we're dancing together. Like for me, it's a social aspect of being with people that I care about.
It's not getting drunk
it's not,
and like
it's not the external, it's the internal, right?
Dude, can we talk about how like I get so overstimulated in crowds?
Yeah.
I'm just like, even like, dude, at the Nugget, then I'm just like, oh my God, please don't touch me.
Yeah.
Like, I hate it. I hate it when people are touching, like being in clubs, bro. Like,
it's even worse because it's all drunk, drugged up, sweaty people around you.
You can smell people sweat. You can smell like their bodily fluid. It's like, bro, leave me alone.
And somehow it's okay. Like it is like this is like an
people
accepted
get
environment.
Dressed and pay a cover charge.
Yeah, just to be
to
in that
do that.
Dude, you know it's funny because
wild.
The batch trip that I went on, like this past year, we went to Mexico with a bunch of girls. It was one of their weddings, and we did end up going to the club and you know like doing all the batch trip stuff. I think my highlight of that night was this guy who was standing outside. He had a parrot. Was it a parrot? It was a parrot.
That is so Mexico coded.
I know. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I was just like, you know, ecstatic. And the girls are like, bro, we got to go in the club. And I'm out here, like, I want to take a picture with a parakeet. Or like, it was like a parrot or something. It was like something cool, right? And, you know, I got my picture and everything. And, you know, the guy obviously asked for a tip. And he was just like, bruh, where's my money at? And I'm like, oh, here's your $1, because you know you tip with $1 in Mexico.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was the highlight of my night, and that says a lot. Like the club scene just ain't it. And it's just like I don't know. That's a whole different conversation.
That totally
because
is.
it's really a subjective thing. Like it's a very opinionated
You either really
thing.
like going to the club or you don't.
Because we're Californians, so like people just expect us to be immersed
Oh my
in
God,
that culture.
I love to party. Like,
But it's
no.
not. It's not it. It's not the move because there's so much more to see sober, and it's 10 times more fun doing stuff sober sometimes. And a lot of people don't understand that because our culture is just that toxic, I guess. Or just like submerged in alcohol wherever you go. But.
Yeah, and I think like honestly, like there's nothing better than being at home or being with your friends at like a bar or like you know like a brewing company or something and like enjoying
more intimate settings.
And enjoying
a sip and
like
paint, right?
Yeah, or dude, we went to go do trivia last Thursday and it was so much
trivia
fun.
Is so fun. Trivia is
so
fun.
much fun.
Every time anybody wants to do anything with me and like we're trying to figure out what to do, I'm like, let's see if there's a trivia night going on because one, I like first of all, trivia is fun to me. Like I don't know if that's like a nerdy thing to say, but it's fun to see how much knowledge you know about the world, right? Like how smart am I? How much has my brain really retained from this many years of living? And pop culture and all that good stuff. Yeah. But on top of that, you're doing it with a friend, and it's just like usually
you're working together. It's team building.
Yeah, and it's just fun, dude. Yeah. It's a very intimate thing because you guys are laughing your ass off because you definitely got that question wrong, and it's just it's a moment that you guys get to share together. Yeah, and it's not something for the rest of the world to see, right? Like because you're sitting there.
Yeah, that and I think karaoke. Yeah. I love a good karaoke.
Dude, karaoke. Yeah,
I love a good karaoke, and I don't care like the worse the better.
Oh yeah,
the worse the better. 100%.
100%.
And I love karaokeing to like late 90s, early 2000s songs.
Yeah, dude, I did karaoke. It's karaoke in Japan, right? But it wasn't It was like the top, not the top 40s, but it was just like
American music.
Exactly, it was American music. It was like just like the top popular songs that people know, right? Call Me Maybe,
like really basic songs,
but like really cool ones too, right? Like Swimming Pools was on there, and like we all went crazy on that. But it brought so many people from different countries together, like all these tourists, right? There was people from Switzerland, there were people from like Russia, there were people from obviously like, you know, California. Who else? There were a bunch of people. There was like one guy from like Missouri or something. But it was just like there are people.
Why'd you say like that? Missouri.
I mean Missouri.
Missouri.
Well, have I been there? I don't know how to say it. All I know is it's spelled Missouri.
Have you seen
Missouri?
No, it's Missouri.
Is it though?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I think it just depends on who you ask.
Have you seen the other girl?
Who? So karaoke. It brings all walks of life together. And it was crazy because everyone was singing together. We all put our like arms around each other and we just went crazy with it. And everyone was just like having such a good time. Even though like if it was in any other setting, we would not have said hi to each other. We would not have talked to each other. But like after every song, we would all just start talking and conversing. Oh, what? You found it?
I found the Vine.
Okay.
I found the Vine.
Right, hit me.
Hold on. Okay.
It better be as funny as
It's one of my favorite Vines ever. I reference this Vine like at least once a month.
You're a Vine girl, huh?
Oh, 100%.
Like you know all your
I grew
Vines.
up with Vine.
Like you could do a trivia night on Vines, and I feel like you would win.
That's why I think I'm a millennial and not a Zoomer because all the Zoomers are on TikTok. But this is the Vine in all of its glory.
All right, let me see.
It's southwest of Wyoming.
Okay, so what is this?
In Wyoming, you go down to Colorado, and it's other. It's
It's Utah. Utah.
It's Udda.
It's Udda. And then when she says it, she's like, Utah.
She's so cute.
Right?
Okay.
That's one of my favorite Vines. Or like the first time I saw Arkansas, I thought it was Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Because it makes
because
sense.
Kansas, bro.
Kansas is Kansas.
If Kansas is Kansas, then why isn't it Arkansas?
I don't know.
It don't make no sense.
And it's Arkansas.
Make no dime.
It doesn't. You don't even use the last S.
Yeah, you don't.
Arkansas.
I don't know.
Did they say Arkansas?
Who makes these words, man?
I don't know.
Like who is like, okay, I'm gonna name this state.
Yeah.
Like Louisiana. What else?
Massachusetts.
I had all 50 states memorized at this point.
I want to know who named Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
like they're like, okay, what is the best tongue twister name I can give
I
to
don't
the
know.
state right here?
You know what people from Massachusetts called Massachusetts?
What did they call Massachusetts?
Massachusetts.
No way. You're kidding me.
Some people do.
The people who live there.
Somebody from Boston once told me that's what they call
Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. That is
Okay.
Yeah, that's
to each
interesting.
their own. If that's how they see Massachusetts, that's how they see
Cool.
Massachusetts.
Also, why is Rhode Island called Rhode Island?
Why is Wyoming?
Exactly, that too.
Like why?
Also, Iowa.
Wyoming? Where Wyoming?
Iowa. What the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Udda.
I feel like the
I'd
West
say
Coast
Udda.
has superior names though,
West Coast?
like
Very
Washington,
unique
Oregon,
names.
California.
Okay. I mean, a lot of them are like influenced,
Indian.
right, by like Spanish
Yeah.
roots and stuff. So it would
Also,
make a lot of
Dakota.
sense.
They were like, oh, this is going to be called South Dakota and this is going to be called North Dakota.
Montana.
Montana.
I forget Montana exists sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a very Californian thing to say, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, Montana's just there. It's just chilling.
You know what state I forget exists all the
Which
time?
one?
Nebraska.
Really?
Dude, I can name like little states on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
East
yeah.
Coast. I can name big states on the West Coast. I can name like the southern like Bible Belt.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in the middle.
It's just there.
I have no
Eh?
idea what
Nebraska.
states make up. I know Colorado's in there.
Montana. Is Wyoming a part of the middle? No, it's not. It's like towards the
No,
side.
like
towards the east.
I think Oklahoma's over there.
Oklahoma.
We sound so dumb. We sound like we haven't
Maybe we
sat
should
in
have a map in
geography.
front of us.
We haven't sat in geography a day in our
Somehow-
lives.
Dude, somehow I won the geography bee in elementary school, and they like literally shipped me off to like some like regionals or something. Like the next one up. What's the next one up? The regionals?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is, right?
State.
Yeah. And it's just like I don't know how the heck it was a multiple choice geography.
That makes
bee.
sense a
And
lot.
so I was
you know the
thinking
general
very-
gist of things.
I was making very educated guesses because I'm like, okay, whatever. But
Context matters.
the problem was nobody signed up for that geography bee except like 3 people. So we all
Okay, yeah.
won.
So yeah, you're gonna
So I
win
could
by
have failed
default.
it, but I still won, bro.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
no.
okay, bro. And they were all like I was like in a school newspaper and everything, and I'm just like, I don't know how I made it this far. So I go to the geography bee, and I didn't know what the heck was going on. I had no clue where anything was, and I just like failed, and I came home.
Was it like states or was it like?
It was district. There you go. I made it to the district B, so it was
Oh.
like school wide and
That
then
sounds
district
way
wide.
less impressive now.
Okay, boy. It was all the winners from all the other schools, okay? So it was still something. I made a couple friends that day. You know, with me, it's like I'll show up not knowing how I made it there, but I'll still be like so talkative and chatty.
It's like,
how's
hey.
it going? Like, where are you from? Like, what's your favorite color? And I'm
Dude, that
I'm
reminds
just
me of
vibing,
being
bro.
in speech and debate.
Yeah.
And so with speech and debate, you go to other schools to compete on like a Saturday morning.
Uh-huh.
And I, first of all, I had no business being like out. Like, first of all, my parents, like, they were barely okay with me going on Saturday mornings,
Uh-huh,
right?
uh-huh.
And so they basically allowed me, and so that was like my only like socialization time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I would be super chatty, and then like one of like our
Like all your built up energy from the
our
week.
captain
just,
like said like pulled me aside. He was like, "Hey, we don't talk to." There was one particular school
Uh-huh.
whose people were like really stuck up because they lived like their school looked like Google headquarters.
Oh,
So like
okay.
they were definitely from a different tax
I
bracket.
see. I see.
And we were inner city kids from Stockton.
Okay.
So
There's a lot of gap there.
yeah. And so he was like, "Yeah, we don't really talk to them." And I was like, "Aw." But then like when they won, like when they announced like all the different things,
Wait,
they
you
would
were talking to them?
yeah, and they would always like win like first and second
Yeah.
place because
And
they
you'd
had
be
such a
like
big
the
team.
one kid from this team, be like, yeah, good job. so
Yeah,
proud of
and they were
you."
like, "Yeah, we don't do that." And I was like, "Oh."
Oh gosh.
It's
Wait,
like
is this
have
high
you seen
school?
have you seen Friends?
Yeah.
Where like Joey wants to sit with Ross at the lunch table and he's like blue lab
Oh
coats and
yeah. There's like this like segregation going.
basically
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that was that. But yeah.
Dude, there was a spelling bee, right? And I think this was the one that I lost at. You know the Scripps National Spelling Bee? I don't know if you've heard of it. I had one a couple.
Spelling bees used to be so popular
They were a
back in the
big thing.
day.
They were like
yeah.
a big deal.
Aquila
At
and
least,
the
like,
Bee?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was my inspiration movie. I would watch that and I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not skipping rope. I'm not exercising out here,
Yeah.
but I'll see what I can do.
I can work out my brain.
Exactly, dude. So I mean, I did not like. I needed a coach.
have the
My
fastest
ADHD
brain.
No, like I couldn't concentrate on the studying. So every like the way I got so far was just because of the knowledge and the vocabulary I already had built up. Like I barely studied, right? So when I got to that last mark, and I think this was the regionals, I think. I was sitting there and I was so talkative while people were going up and spelling their words. I was in the back just talking to the homies like next to me, and they both of them were just like, why is she talking to me? Like this is like they're nervous. They're gonna go up and they know, like, you know, this is it. My parents are gonna whoop my ass if I don't get this word right. I'm over here just dilly-dallying. Yeah, and I was like, hey, like, you know, how's it going? Like, and I'm just like literally talking. And
What school are you from?
Exactly, literally. And they were like, they would like answer me, but then they would like try to like stay away from me. And they're like, okay, if I don't look at her, she won't talk to me. I was that person, dude. I was a golden retriever as a kid.
Oh, definitely.
And then my turn came up and I lost and I just walked out like, okay, dope. All right, it is what it is.
Like, all right.
Yeah. But it's just the fact that like it was just a like crucial moment for all these kids, like trying to get these words right. And then there was me. And I already know, like, I still remember the word I lost at. It was occidental. Occidental. And so I didn't realize that it was like some dentistry, like it was like some teeth related word. And so it would start with the prefix OCC, which is like, yeah, it's a Merriam-Webster dictionary word. But anyway, all of that aside, I remember what I lost at just because I was just like, wow, I would have guessed this shit. I did not study, but I talked a lot. So that was me as a kid.
Fair.
Just somehow made it.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how we got to spelling bees from travel, but
this is how we do it.
That was an interesting
Segways.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to find out
Where we gotta cap this at.
where we got how we got here, but we got here.
It'd be like that.
That's all that matters, right?
You know what's so funny? The stream says like we hate men or some shit like that. Men were not a part of this
Present.
conversation.
Men were not
I thought they were going to
present.
be sometimes.
Oh, okay,
We're good.
gotcha.
We're chilling.
Yes.
We started off with we hate men, but no, it's okay. We don't hate you today. Not
Yeah.
today. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe next episode. We'll see.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Until next
and,
episode.
Please don't forget to do all the YouTubey things. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, etc.
You could also dislike, by the way. Like we won't get hurt or anything, but we do prefer the like
Engagement is
button.
engagement, you guys.
We prefer. No PR is bad PR. Is that yeah? Okay, that's relevant.
It's no attention.
It's in the same category.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, see, we could go on a whole nother tangent. But thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you in a video super, super soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.